Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to do an Anno 117 Pax Romana challenge. See, I've been playing the game a lot, and I built up a pretty nice city. But what if I did it differently? Through trade. That's right, my plan is to build up a monstropolis with a population of 20,000 citizens, using only trade to obtain my raw materials. So, I can either trade for the very rawest form of a material, I could trade for an intermediary step, build it in my city, or I could just trade for the finished thing. Whatever works. But I have to use trade at the start of a process, and I can't ever start by just, making a production building, doing it myself. I don't know if this is possible. I did do a little bit of a test in my main city, seeing if I could just import a couple resources. That went fine. But can you really import everything? I think it's going to take a combination of both active and passive trade. Active trade, sending ships out to NPCs, making trade treaties with them, and passive trade to fill in everything else, because I know you can't get all the goods you need just by actively trading with NPCs. So my goal is going to be to set up trade treaties, set up passive trade to fill the gaps, and from there, we'll see how it goes. So first up, building a basic city. Now there's going to be a time gap before the NPCs start trading, and that's going to mean plopping down my early houses and more or less waiting. This is also normally the point where I'd be plopping down woodcutters. The thing is, I can't do that. Remember, I can't get my raw resource from woodcutters. I would have to get the logs by trading. And I can't do that right now either. So my only source of timber is going to be finding Diana and trading with her directly. I also need to fulfill some of the needs of my population so it won't collapse, which means building a market and a tavern, since those require no additional resources. That'll also be handy for generating income. Oh, and while I'm at it, I might as well greet the locals. They seem lovely, and I'm sure they have lots and lots of goods they're just dying to sell me, as soon as they figure out this whole seafaring thing. And so let's skip ahead until that's built. Alright, the early city is going well. So well, in fact, that I'm upgrading my houses thanks to those resources from Diana. So long as I provide for at least one of the needs, I don't think any of the houses are going to be abandoned, but I'll admit I didn't quite test that part, so who knows, maybe this run's going to have a quick and unfortunate end. You're probably looking down at the length of the video and going, that's definitely not happening. But hey, so far so good, and a few plebeians won't hurt. This should also mean I have access to a few more options. And oh look, a free gift from Zaranitu. Definitely doesn't hurt my coffers. But still, I have nothing else to do, so I might as well run around and do some contracts. Those are the weird little mini quests from lighthouses. The handy thing about those is NPCs actually like it when you do them, so it should make the trade treaties later a little bit easier. Oh, and I'm going to set my devotion to Mercury. He gives all sorts of trade-related bonuses, including increasing the profits from passive trade. So my plan is to actively trade for goods and then use passive trade to offload as a second way to generate income. So time to wait around until the ships start arriving. Oh, speaking of, here they are. All right, now I can start setting up basic buy orders. What I want to do is get goods such as hemp or sheep and turn them into finished products like tunics or pilei. Technically, I could just buy the tunics directly, but there's two reasons why I don't want to do that. First, each ship coming in doesn't have an unlimited stock, so the more expensive an item, the less you can buy from a ship at a time, and the greater the risk that the city is going to run out of resources. Since raw goods are cheaper than finished goods, I'm going to start by buying raw goods. I believe this does eventually scale as varietals progress, but for now, it's a good idea to keep it small. The second reason is radius bonuses. If I put production buildings in my cities and place them around my houses, I get things like extra income, health, or even population. Though more about that towards the end of the video. The next plan is going to be setting up for diplomacy, so more contracts, doing things that the rivals actually like, making friends the gods they like, and that way I can get a trade treaty with Tarragon, Zaranitu, and Concordia. But to do that, I'm first going to meet enough of the conditions that the positives outweigh the negatives, and maybe throw in a bribe or, a gift at the end to smooth things along. And here we go. Diana is coming in to trade and bumping my flagship out of the way here. The ship is docked, making a trade right as we speak. Now, in addition, I've expanded buildings up a little bit more. So now there's all these, a second block of housing. My total population is 899 citizens. I've met all the needs of my liberty. I have not met the needs of my plebeians yet. I need to start meeting their needs, which will mean either A, importing more goods. This is a little bit dangerous because remember, the ships coming into trade have limited stock. Or I will need to start doing more active trading. For the active trading, I need to make trade treaties. And so here, currently negative 40, Targon, not super happy with me. What can I do? Well, I could build a fleet, which would require resources. I could devote myself to Ceres, which I'm not going to do because Mercury is OP. I could build some defenses. That would be a waste of resources, but I could do it. Realistically, what I'm going to do is another set of contracts for him. That should bump that up. And maybe build my first trade ship. I won't need weapons. This is going to be a peaceful vessel. But I will need some rope and some sails. So I can put it at maintain stock 25. Therefore, when a ship drops by, like this one, my trading post will automatically, let's bump up the speed here, try to acquire some sails until it reaches the threshold of 25. See, I bought 11. If I were to go over 25, it would start selling them. So the next thing to do here, harbor building. I'll need a shipyard, so I'm going to plop that down right over here. And now, if I make the discovery, I'll be able to unlock a trireme. But for now, I could always start with something smaller. It would require 10 sails and 10 rope. So let's also set this, maintain stock 25. And why don't I just max this out? Because, remember, everything has a limited supply, which means I have to be a little bit choosy here. Speaking of, I would also like to start providing for my plebeians. So I could do bread. That gives population and income. That's a pretty good one. Sandals, population and income, also a good one. Soap's okay. Keeps people healthy. And provide fire safety. Olive oil, just really good all around. Garum, it's profitable. Add some happiness. My negative attribute is fire safety. So, what I'm going to start doing, maintain stock, let's put this at 30. I will start buying amphora, which will then be distributed to my populace. And oh look, Targon is offering me a gift. He likes the fact that I'm going to be building ships, which is a very good sign, as remember, I want to establish this trade treaty. I can bribe him, I can offer him a gift, but I don't want to do that yet because that decays over time. So, first up, let's accelerate things a little bit so stuff starts ticking, and wait for the rope to come in. And also, while I'm doing this, I'm going to swap around my research, because I want to build a trireme. It'll take a little bit of time. First boat doesn't have to be a trireme. Yeah, let's start a civilian vessel. This is going to be perfect, as I can establish a trade route with Targon very, very soon. Also going to wait just a little bit more time. Where is this harbor? Oh, this harbor's over here. Yeah, 15 minutes for new contracts. Once new contracts come in, there's a very good chance that I will be able to directly just pick up one of those, use my flagship, and after I complete it, he should be liking me just enough to trade. Now, something else I'm going to do. As more ships come in, it's going to take longer and longer, so I'm going to upgrade my trading post. This should allow ships to trade just a little bit faster. There's more I can do later, but for now, it's a good start. Let's check in. All right, some amphora have been purchased, and they are being distributed. Good. As this ticks up, it's going to become more and more efficient because then I can start adding other resources which will effectively be expanding my population. And now, turning that in, let's go over to diplomacy. We're now at negative 25, which still isn't good enough, but you can always bribe people. That gives plus 30, which is more than enough. 74, 65 against. Confirm. So I now have a trade treaty with Targon, which means I can go to his trading post. I can buy porridge, which is good. I'll need that. I can buy bread, which is good. I'll need that. I can buy lavender and olives. This would help if I wanted to start making soap. Or also soap and olive oil. And so it's time to set up a trade route. You come over here, create trade route, start on my island and on Targon's island. Buy goods, buy all the bread, buy all the porridge. And do I want to buy anything else for now? You know, for now, I think I'm going to call it good with the olives. Then I unload everything like so. Click establish route. The ship will now start here, head over here, buy stuff, and head back. The reason that I want to produce things like Pilei and tunics, each of these production buildings give bonuses. So, the spinner, income and knowledge. The Pileus Felter, income. Same thing for the olive press. It gives population and income. So I'm just going to put a couple of them here and here. I don't know. Do I want to give the rioters olive oil? Yeah, I think I want to give the rioters olive oil. All of these stockpiles should be stabilizing now. And it should mean I don't have to directly import porridge anymore. Though I'll see. If this declines too fast and Targon's stock is unable to keep up, that's a point where I'll be like, all right, I guess I will still be importing this. But hey, trade turns out is pretty good. Okay, a bit of time has passed. So far, the city is remaining stable. I'm not running out of anything, at least. And because more time has passed, because I have more goods, and because I was able to get a couple more ships, I think it's time to establish a trade treaty with Zaranitu. Like, -30, but it's fine. We'll just bribe like last time. Oh, whoops. Click to cancel. I don't want to cancel. I want to bribe. Perfect. Trade treaty established. So the next question is, do I have a ship? I do not have a ship. Can I buy a ship? See, all of your problems can be solved in ancient Rome if you have enough money. Let's see. Surely, yes. Civilian vessel, trireme, perfect. Admittedly, I'm running a little low on workforce, but even that can also be solved with money. Now I head over to Zaranitu. Let's see what good she has. She has hemp. I'm already providing hemp to my citizens, but this will make it much more consistent. Same for amphore. I can do both of those. I can add on some soap, which is something that I wasn't yet providing. And I don't need any of these, because I don't have any higher tier citizens yet. Maybe it's about time to get some. So, we're going to go here, like before, open trade route, establish trade route. Where do we want to go? Here and here. And we want to purchase all the hemp. We want to purchase all the amphora. We want to purchase all the soap. And unload all of that in the capital. Establish route. Come over here to the trade house. And instead of maintaining the stock, I'm going to max this out. Sell when above 150. So now I will just collect hemp. That's fine. For the soap, I can sell when above 120. That's also fine. And amphore, I can sell when above 120. It's totally fine to use excess resources as a trade value, because thanks to Mercury, see, trade is more profitable. I'm actually going to be making money by selling the excess goods that I buy from other cities. So with all of that done, I think it's about time to take things to the next level. And by that, I mean take my housing to the next level. There we go. I've unlocked some equites. And yes, I did judge that correctly. I specifically wanted tier 2. This way I get the aqueduct cistern and the theater. And the Emperor is going to be like, hey, go to Albion. No, we're not going to Albion. That is not the point here. We only have one city. We already have the city. We don't need to go to Albion. Albion's where all the other people are. The Emperor can go deal with that. He's making a request. You know what? I'll ignore him for now. It's fine. This also means my concrete has unlocked. I have no way to produce it right now. But the equites will be demanding wine and cheese. So let's put in a buy order. Maintain stock at 60. There aren't very many equites, so this should be very easy. But I do need to be careful because these goods get more expensive. And then we've got Concordia, who doesn't like me enough yet. -110, yeah. She's not super happy with me, in part because she's very religious. Like, very religious. She loves all the gods. And I only have one city, so I have fairly low devotion. But as I'm building up things like contracts and trade and research, this will get better over time. And the other thing that I want to do to really maximize stuff is build a theater. Do I have room? Yes. Oh, perfect. I can just plop this down right here or right here. And I'm going to go with this side. Why? I don't know. It just looks better. It just looks better to me. So I'm going to plop this down. This provides a whole bunch of happiness, which is good. This fixes my happiness. It also provides knowledge. The other thing that would fix a lot of stuff would be an aqueduct. But aqueducts need a mountain source, and oh look! It's almost like I planned to have my city go this way, so that I could grab directly from this mountain source. I haven't quite planned how I'm going to get the water down here. That's a problem for later me. I think my next plan is going to be to expand over here. I can build several of these housing blocks. In fact, I can probably build both of them. Let's find out. That's the nice thing about the copy-paste tool. You can just highlight everything, like so, and plop it down. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm getting the whole Governor's Villa radius thing, but that's fine. I can just ignore that. I don't have to copy the Governor's Villa. Everything else works, though. The other really nice thing, though, because I now have concrete, I can start making paved roads. Paved roads are OP. What do I mean? Paved roads are OP? Well, let's say this tavern. This tavern has okay coverage. But there's some buildings over here that I never built. Why? Because the tavern wouldn't cover them anyway. But if I start putting paved roads, even in just a very central location of like, okay, I don't have enough concrete to actually do this. Let's just pretend that I do this part as paved roads. The tavern is not really affected yet. As soon as I fill that out, maybe make all this paved, the tavern's going to reach over here, no problem. Might even reach over here, no problem. Not 100% sure, though. The sanctuary is kind of a little bit of a wrench in that works. Super valuable, though. Totally worth. And so for now, it's just a matter of letting time pass, letting the trades roll in, and maybe updating things if it all starts collapsing. Oh, and also upgrading my houses, though I will need more resources for that, so I'm going to have to go buy some roofing tiles, but I definitely want to upgrade way more houses. Now, jumping to concrete roads has been a huge increase in efficiency. For example, the aqueduct system now covers pretty much all the houses here. Still doesn't cover down here, but again, that can be covered later. It also means almost all of my smaller buildings, like the tavern, cover pretty much everybody. There's a couple of unlucky residents who don't quite get the effects, but hey, that's fine. They didn't need to go out drinking anyway, and there's not even any alcohol available to many of those citizens because they are not the upper class and we only have wine right now. Might solve that later. In addition, I've been working towards a trade treaty with Concordia. Rather difficult in comparison to the others. She doesn't quite like me for not being religious enough. Again, very difficult to dedicate yourself to multiple religions with only one city, but hey, that's just part of the challenge. It is time to do something that should be a big leap forward, though. That is, building both a forum and baths. Not only do these provide huge bonuses to the citizens, as you can see, there's money, there's prestige, there's pretty much everything. It's got a huge radius, encompasses all the houses. This has got population, health, and fire safety. Again, tons of bonuses. But this should satisfy all of the needs of my equites, and it does. So, I can finally do this. 6 houses, yeah. Turns out it's a little bit difficult because it does require concrete, but hey, as the ships come in, I'll buy more concrete and it'll be fine. This opens up the patrician class, the highest class of housing, and the one that offers most bonuses. It also opens up the amphitheater wonder, which I'll be placing somewhere. Haven't quite decided where I'm going to place that yet, but for now, it's going to be all about focusing on upgrading some housing. I have not actually traded with Concordia before. I don't know what goods she offers. I'm hoping valuable ones.
Frankly, I shouldn't have to ask.
Oh, look! She likes me enough. Trade treaty. Yes! And there we have it. Concordia has offered a trade treaty. Now, it's time to check out her stock of goods. She offers sardines. Okay, that's good. Oats, not super helpful because I already get porridge. Tunic's not super helpful. Ooh, that is unfortunate. Her goods are not particularly valuable for what my empire needs. Now, just upgrade all the buildings. Alright, and with that done, it's again time to just let things run so resources can accumulate, and hopefully everything will remain stable. It is entirely possible that I've just destroyed my entire supply chain and I'm going to run out of resources and my city will fail. But it hasn't happened yet. So, just a bit of time later, the city is now stable. Water is being provided to pretty much every household, as are all the services like the temple and the theater. You can also see I've built out this entire side section, bringing the total population to 7,781 citizens. A very good start. But remember, higher tier houses, more citizens. There's 22 here, and there's a meager 18 here. Meaning it is time to continue to upgrade the housing. So we just do this, and all the plebeians become equites. Also do this, same thing, and this, and then this, and then run out of resources. It's also about time to solve another rather serious problem. As you can see, there's still a traffic jam. Ships are waiting to trade. But I put in the time to research trading pier. So I'm just going to build a second trading pier over here and another one here. This way, once I connect them via roads, just going to extend this out like so. Extend this down like so. Unload all the resources from my flagship. And then finalize construction. Now, instead of everyone having to wait to go to my main pier, they can split up across all three, making my trading 3 times more efficient than it was. Oh, and also, I should have resources to finish upgrading the houses now. Also, the other thing I want to start doing is providing all of the higher tier goods so that I can get all the bonuses from having the patricians. I don't want to do it all at once, because otherwise things might get a little bit iffy. So I'm just going to start simple. But again, it's going to take a little bit of time for everything to get into place. I've hit about 10,000 total population, so halfway to the goal. But here's where things are starting to get tricky. For example, I have very few togas. And this is because, as I've been buying more and more expensive goods, like oysters with caviar, the ships have not been able to keep up. Because remember, each of these ships coming in, well, not mine, but each of the foreign traders coming in only has a limited budget. So, to get around this problem, I'm going to start making my own oysters with caviar. I'm also going to be adding just a few houses here. And this is going to be because I want to start a big construction project, and that big project is an amphitheater. Yep, there we go. Big dip in workforce there. So, I need lots of concrete. That'll be a little tricky to get. Lots of timber, that's easy. I can always go trade with Concordia. And lots of rope. So let's begin construction. And you'll notice the Libertus workforce has dropped by a little more than I was expecting. So let's try to fix that here. Where can I add more houses? You know, I can add more houses right here, I bet. I built a trading post upgrade and went through all of my stocks because right now my trade situation is very complicated and I need to make sure I don't accidentally run out of goods. Soap is a good price. Honestly, I could just pick up extra soap and sell it. So, this will be a good ship for that. New trade route. Where? Between here and here. I go here, I buy 50 sardines. I buy some soap that I'm going to sell. I buy some bread that I'm going to sell. And you know what? I'm going to buy some armor that I'm also going to sell. Establish trade route. God damn it. Why? Why is Concordia sabotaging me like this? Why is she attacking Tarragon? Oh no. I mean, I have no military. So there's no way I can accept. I have to decline. See if I can bribe him. Ooh. Minus 100. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to go well for a while. But as for the rest, well, at this point, it's mostly a waiting game. Because what I need here is lots and lots of concrete. I need another about 60. Alright, update time. I fed all of the resources into the amphitheater. That's good to go. Enough time has passed that I'm pretty much chill with this guy again. And now I have a whole new house plan here. Because I'm pretty sure while my population will jump up a huge amount the minute I hit the amphitheater, it's not going to hit quite 20k. So I'll do this. My timber's going to get nuked. I will let resources trickle in, and I'll continue from there. One very big downside I have noticed for this trade strategy, while it is ridiculously overpowered for getting resources, the system doesn't take to shocks too well. So as I was building resources up here, I was constantly spending my concrete. Concrete is fairly expensive. It's not the most expensive resource, but it's not exactly cheap at 76. And I'm still out of a bunch of stuff. Like togas, I keep running out of them. Why? Because there's so many different resources that I'm buying that it's getting a little bit hard to sort it all. So I think I might turn off a couple of the higher cost things that don't give that many benefits. After all, the goal is 20,000 population. So if I come over here, necklaces, that's income and prestige. I don't really need that, so I can easily turn that off. Look at this, 326. That price is ridiculous. So let's just turn that off. I suspect bird tongue and aspic is also going to be worth turning off. It gives income and prestige. I do not need those things. And again, it's very expensive. Like, look at that, 192. And I'm just going to upgrade all of these houses like so. And oh look, Growing Monstropolis, which is a ridiculous name for a city. Time to check my trading post, make sure things aren't collapsing too much. I mean, it's decreasing, but surely that's fine. Almost everything else looks pretty stable. And hey, the togas are back. That's good. A lot of these high-cost resources are genuinely quite difficult to get to a stable point. Ooh, I should probably build one more epicure of water. Okay. That's the other hard part about trading. You never quite know when your resources are going to get unstable because you spend too much of something. So just by spending all the concrete, really messed up my supply lines, was not good. But now things are evening out. And since I've reworked my trade lines here, oh, that's fine. Yeah, everything's looking pretty darn good. And I have plenty of olives, so I can easily make more olive oil. Plenty of materials for the caviar. That'll be fine. Ah, the power of trade. Don't even have to find sturgeon. Just import the caviar. It's expensive, but not nearly as expensive as oysters with caviar. Those things, super pricey. So, saving snapshot 5. I think it's time to hit the button. Complete. And now my population is going to jump up because every building in the entire city gets +3 population. Just shooting straight from 15,000. I am slightly worried here because I did just do a major expansion. But the interesting thing about how population and demands work, this is based on the number of residences, not the number of citizens living there, which is why I have so many high-tier houses, because 32 people can live here, and they will actually require less resources, or less of the low-tier resources, than the 15 people who live here. Population has gone up to 17,000, which I think is where it's going to stay. So it's time to take a quick detour, spend some denarius, and roll for a specialist who's going to solve some of my population problems. Here we go. The Aquila has arrived with a very special delivery. I need to increase my population as much as possible. And that's where Baker Acrusta comes in, because almost all of my houses are supplied with bread. So I put one in, and as you can see, houses jump up in population. Ooh, I think I might want to swap the fire safety guy. Now I'm going to swap the interest guy. I don't need money as much. So, like so. Put money guy over here. It's fine. And then the big radius from my governor's villa. One more Baker Acrusta. Didn't quite do as much as I hoped. Right, so with Baker Acrusta added, both in my villa and around my villa, my total population is up to 18,864. I have a couple options. One option would be to build more houses. This will mean more population, but also more costs. The other thing to do would be to get more prestige slots, allowing me to socket more Baker Acrustas for even more population. And if you guessed that it's the second one I'm going to do, you are absolutely correct. But first I have to downgrade one house. because that fixes all of my workforce problems. So, the plan is upgrade all of the roads to marble. Marble works exactly the same in terms of the distance things can travel, so I don't have to worry about that. But the other thing it does is it will give me way more prestige. That is this stat here, so 23.4k, all the way up to 26. That was like 3,000 prestige in a single click. Plus, marble's easy to get. I can replace it real easy. Especially since the upgrade tool is sometimes very sloppy when it comes to roads. You get these weird bits that aren't upgraded properly. Now I just have to see if there's anything else, but I believe all the services should be fine. Won't be perfect coverage, doesn't need to be. This is all about getting the job done, fitting those last few houses in to support 20,000 by trading. Alright, population stabilized, upgrade again. Going into this, I was not sure it was going to be successful. I didn't know if it was actually possible to sustain a city of this size, because this is equal, not quite equal actually, it's slightly smaller than the largest city I made in my normal save file, with a whole bunch of other cities all importing resources. But to do all of this just by trading with NPCs and using the passive trade, I'm really surprised the game even allows it. But hey, that's cool. One more upgrade here. See how high these go. It'll take a little bit for all of the population to tick up. Not liking the look of that, though. I think we're going to be just shy still. Okay. I could fit a few more houses here. I could fit like a row of houses here. I'm looking for all those last few spots. Come on, 19.6. Almost to 19.7. 19.7. Uh-oh, it stopped. Keep going here. This isn't going to be quite enough, I bet. It'll be close, though. I'll make room. Who needs an efficient city? You can fit more houses. You can always fit just a couple more houses. Give them their very own marble boulevard, and you know what? I'm gonna fill in all of this because otherwise it looks weird. Perfect. Upgrade these. Upgrade these as soon as they're able. 19,900. 100 residents to go. And at this point, I think what I do is I just upgrade houses. Because what's worse that could happen? Well, it could totally wreck my economy. But I don't think that's going to happen. Instead, I think I'm going to hit the goal here. 19,950. 50 residents to go. 40 residents. 30 residents. Oh, lost a little bit in that swap. It's okay, though. Counting up. 1980. 20 to go. 15 to go. 10 to go. 1994, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. 20,000. That is a city of 20,000 people built on trade. What an absolutely crazy thing that is even possible in the game. Going into this, I didn't know if it was going to be possible. Around 15,000 population, heading to 20. It was tough. I wasn't sure I was going to make it. I thought my supply lines might collapse. I guess technically they still might, but I think everything is just barely stable. It's real close, but everything's just barely stable. And so I'd call that challenge complete. That was pretty fun. I apologize if I made any faux pas in terms of challenge runs. It is not content that I normally do. I used to be the sort of person who was like, challenges are stupid, I'll never do them. Well, I guess I'm a stupid one because I'm eating my words. They're actually pretty fun, sometimes. Some games, I absolutely have zero desire to do a challenge run. other games I'm like, that was really fun, but... And it is usually more open-ended sandboxy games where you have to find or make your own fun. And so, if you want to see more challenge runs from me in the future, get subscribed, leave a like to show the algorithm gods that you enjoyed the video. Also, let me know down below, what kind of challenges do you enjoy watching? There's a good chance that if it's not a game I play, I won't be doing it, but I'm still curious about what other people do, so I guess feel free to recommend some of your favorite challenge run creators as well, as the only one I really know is the Spiffing Brit, and I'm not sure he counts as challenge run so much as just professional game breaker. But that said, I'm going to get going for now. If you want to learn how to get a little better at Anno 117 Pax Romana, I have a tips and tricks video, which is up in the card and down below. You can watch that next. But for now, thank you very much for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.